Hey guys, it's Ed, and the future is now, and the future biggest company in the world equals Tesla. I'm going to explain why. Okay, this is as basic as I can get so that people really understand where we're going as a society, where we're going in the future, and what's really happening with Tesla behind the scenes that you're really not probably being told or anybody's really talking about because they're only concerned about what's happening this quarter, what's happening now. Anyway, let me start first with the EV sales. I mean, is it possible for Tesla to become 50% of the EV market worldwide? Like Amazon is 50% of the market share for all consumer goods sold online? I think that's extremely possible. But 50%, I'm leaving it at 50, and I'm going to show you why in just a minute. Okay, why only 50? Okay, but anyway, let's talk about the Robotaxi network. I'm pretty sure they can get 50% of that market share with their cost estimations and everything on that, and compete with Uber, Lyft, and Google on that issue, okay? And just any other autonomy type company that's coming in. I'm pretty sure they're going to have more data on actual miles, and that just keeps growing with more and more cars out there. So this is a huge revenue source for them. But anyway, let's get to what I think is going to be the great part of this. It's the computer hardware. Okay, they can sell the chip to the other car companies. They can sell it to Ford or Chevy or whatever, GM, any of the other car companies that you want to think about. They could sell that and they become like Intel. Now they're a company like Intel. They're selling this chip that has value for billions of vehicles on the road. Okay, so that's huge. And you know, like IBM, they're like a computer company in that fashion. But now let's go to software, because they could lease the FSD and autopilot to all the car companies as well. And this goes to like Microsoft. Microsoft is one of the biggest companies in the world. Why? I don't think people really remember why. And the reason isn't because they came up with the software, Windows. It's because they didn't sell it to IBM. IBM offered them a bunch of money. I can't remember exactly how much it was. I'll research that. But Microsoft was offered by IBM for them to purchase it. And then Bill Gates made the best decision ever in history probably and said, you know what? We'll just lease it to you guys. We'll lease it. So now he's leasing it to pretty much every PC on earth because of this. And I see them potentially leasing the FSD and autopilot to every car company or every car on earth that could potentially have it. That is a huge implication. Okay, and the reason that they're not doing that right this second, that would actually hurt Tesla. And this is where the market share may only get to 50% for Tesla. And the reason being is because all these other companies, well, Ford and GM and all these companies are just going to buy all these features and put them in their vehicles. They can design whatever vehicles they want and then lease the FSD and autopilot from them, and they've basically got, you know, whatever they want for a vehicle as long as they have that internal hardware and software. So this is huge, and they're not talking about it, and Tesla's not really saying much about it, but I know this is going to happen in the future because it just makes the most sense financially. But they're waiting on that until Tesla has more solid ground to stand on overall. And plus, it's not complete, you know, totally complete anyway. They still need to get a lot more data and get it out there. And now solar production. This is something that Elon was talking about on his on the conference call just yesterday. They were talking about that the solar side of their business can be just as big as the EV side. And I was thinking, wow, that's crazy. That's massive. You know, I mean, obviously he must know something. He knows what they're doing. So the solar production of the solar roofs and the solar storage, power packs and the power walls, this is massive. That's a big industry. I mean, I think Tesla electricity is a big business in itself. Look at the electric companies. I mean, now you can put it in for Duke Energy and you can put that in here. That's like, they're going to be an energy producing and storage company. So that's a massive production of funds there. We're talking billions, potentially trillions there. Now let's get into some fun stuff, the auto part sales. Well, now they can be an auto part company? Yeah, why not? Battery packs, drivetrains. This is the main two components that I see them selling, once again, to all the car companies. Sell them the hardware, lease them the software, sell them the battery packs and the drivetrains. Now, every car company out there can basically have all this Tesla components inside of them, yet design whatever cool car they want to come up with. So they can really get creative on the design side and not go bankrupt. I mean, Ford and GM and all these companies, Toyota, Honda, they can use this technology and design these amazing vehicles and just use it off of the, you know, basically you're buying the products off of Tesla. That is massive. And this is something I see happening, but once again, not now, because Tesla's still kind of in that growth mode. They don't want to do this until they have a big market share of the actual EVs. If they do this now, all these companies will come in and start manufacturing all these things at high production rates, and Tesla will just kind of wash out. So anyway, battery sales. Okay, this is kind of fun. I see them being a huge battery producer, like probably the biggest battery company in the world again. So that's another thing they can be the biggest in the world at. For personal device batteries, they could be making personal device batteries for cell phones or for laptops or for basically any electronic device. I see them getting more into that down the road and opening factories that are dedicated to that at some point in time. So that's the battery sales. Now, insurance, we already talked about this before, but Geico, Progressive, these are billion-dollar companies again. Now Tesla comes in the market. This is almost like free money. Here's some free money, Tesla. Go for it. You've got it. I mean, you've already got the system set up, and now you can insure all of your EVs, no matter what they are, whether they're cars, trucks, or commercial vehicles, dump truck, whatever they get involved in, they can insure those vehicles. So that's just like free money. It's like icing on the cake. Okay, now the computer hardware and software. I thought we already talked about that. Oh, this is future. What about personal or commercial robots? Well, this car is the first robot in manufacturing production history. Nobody really thinks about it as a robot, but the car is a robot. So if they can make a car a robot, why not make personal robots and commercial robots for other companies and for people, for home use? I see them being like TVs. Once again, way far out prediction, everybody will own a personal robot. All right, I see this happening. This is like I saw cell phones. Everybody, once I had a cell phone in 94 or 5, I can't remember, right off the bat, I was like, everybody in the world is going to have this. You know, it makes you so much more efficient as a human being. And sure enough, I was right about that. And almost, it went even way beyond what I really thought was cell phones. You know, they just basically became computers in your hand type of thing. Now, so I can see them getting involved in that. And actually on the production side, they already know how to produce things, you know, and the manufacturing know-how, they have the AI knowledge as well. Why not just do the production of the robot? So I can see Tesla down the road, you know, 5, 10, 15 years, starting to produce personal robots with the AI, you know, knowledge and that they have and they can develop. So I see that being futuristic, but almost a guarantee again. I just see that adding so much value to human beings. So, and then back to computer and hardware and software again. Well, we might as well. What about boats, planes, and trains? So this is, to me, simple. I mean, they can apply the same things to boats, planes, and trains, but almost easier. Boats don't have lane lines. They don't have to deal with the same amount of constrictions as cars do. They don't have people walking in front of them that often on water. I mean, so that doesn't occur too often, obviously. Planes, the same strategy. There's no real lane lines. Granted, they have their flight patterns and paths that they have to maintain. And trains is even simpler because they're on tracks. So there's not as much to that. So I think that they can apply their technology to these areas really simple. They're not getting into it now because they have their hands full with other things that they're doing. But I see that happening. I don't know when, but I see Tesla being a part of that and making money from that. And SpaceX and Space Frontier, let me think about it. Can we have EVs on the moon and Mars? Well, Elon said by 2030, there's going to be a Tesla pickup truck on Mars. I believe him. I see that happening. Why not? Okay, it seems like there's no roads there and they have some terrain that they got to deal with. The pickup truck, EV pickup truck, is absolutely the perfect vehicle for the moon, for Mars, so you can get around and explore these areas easily. And I think, and he was kind of winking at that and like, yeah, we can maybe have a pickup. He already knew they were going to have a pickup truck there on, he just doesn't want to kind of let these cats out of the bag again, because when they do this, that's going to be a massive advertising promotional, I wouldn't even say gimmick. It's just going to be, yeah, I've got the same truck as they're driving on Mars right now. I mean, that's a big thing to really think about. So anyway, and how is SpaceX going to be? I mean, SpaceX could end up being one of the biggest companies in the world. There's billions and billions of dollars in space and travel and tourism, and that this is a future thing. I'm not sure how Tesla can manage this, obviously, with their solar roof production, parts maybe, battery sales. They can be involved in insuring rockets and whatnot. That could be a big one. Who knows on that one? But all of this thing, not to mention personal robots and other things. So this is in general, you're going to be looking at, the analysts are going to be like, well, their sales of their trucks are terrible on Mars this quarter. Really? I mean, is that what we're going to? I mean, that's ridiculous, but I can see the analysts still trying to pick apart Tesla even 10 years from now. But anyway, this is what I see, and this is why I believe Tesla will be the biggest company in the future, because you might as well add all these companies together and put them big conglomerate, and that is Tesla. So, I mean, that's massive. If you add Microsoft and Intel and Google and Uber and Lyft with this, as well as all of the battery production and Geico and Progressive for insurance, just add all these things together and just see what the total of that is going to be. Anyway, thanks a lot. Please subscribe. I wanted to give you a real broad concept of where I see the future of Tesla. I mean, long term, this is the future that I see. I could be wrong about some of the things. Go ahead and comment or battle back with me, because I don't see, I'm trying to poke holes in this stuff all the time. I just can't see it. I can't see a lot of holes in this. So anyway, thanks a lot and take care.